to the long version of my book tour. Today I plan on going through shelf by shelf and telling you all the titles and the authors of the books that I own. I also will tell you how I organize my books by genre and whether the books are part of a series or not. I'd just like to take a moment before we start to talk about the types of books that I like. I have a vast array of interests ranging from young adult fiction to historical fiction to murder mysteries to nonfiction, mostly nonfiction historical books, and many more. Well, without further ado, let's start! Alright guys, here we are. Here's shelf 1. So starting from left to right, I have my plays and music history section, which includes The Tragedies and the Poems by William Shakespeare, The Essential Canon of Classical Music by David Duvall, The Vintage Guide to Classical Music by Jan Swafford, The Nine Symphonies of Beethoven by Anthony Hopkins, The Growth of Music Part 2 by Coles, and by Penguin, A New Dictionary of Music. Next I have my antique books, signed books, old books section, starting with Stones by William Bell, Grave Secrets by McNichol, The Secrets of Gabby's Dresser by Kathy Kaser, an old History of Canada textbook, Arabian Nights, Elementary Harmony Part 1 and Part 2 by C.H. Kitson, History and Religion of Israel, The Roadmender by Michael Fairless, Last Days of Pompeii by Lord Lytton, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, the Centenary Edition, and Auld Licht Idylls by J.M. Barrie. Next we have my textbook slash nonfiction section with Prehistory, A Very Short Introduction by Godson, Archaeology, A Very Short Introduction by Bond, Anthropology, A Very Short Introduction by Monahan and Just, then The Symposium by Plato, A Conspectus of Canada, The Celtic World and Illustrated History by Lavin, The Renaissance by Ferguson, The Medici by G.F. Young, The Biblical Archaeologist Reader 3, The Secret History of Christianity by Malcolm Brocklehurst, Joan of Arc by Mary Gordon, Through the Lands of the Bible by H.V. Morton, Century of Conflict by Joseph Lister Rutledge, A Brief History of the Crimean War by Alexei Trubetsky, 1421, The Year China Discovered the World by Gavin Menzies, and lastly, Laura Hillebrand Seabiscuit. My last section is kind of my Asian section, with Turning Japanese by Kathy Yardley, The Devotion of Suspect X by Keigo Higashino, Tokyo Vice by Jake Adelstein, Under the Hawthorn Tree by Ai Mi, The Lake by Banana Yoshimoto, and To Kill a Tiger by Jid Lee. Moving on to shelf 2, starting on the left, I have a classics section with Evgeny Onegin by Tchaikovsky, Nutcracker, The Mouse King, and The Tale of the Nutcracker by E.T.A. Hoffman and Alexandre Dumas, The Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood, Darcy's Story by Janet Almer, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and then I just kind of have these two random books because I can't fit them anywhere else, Watership Down by Richard Adams, and Game of Thrones by George R. Martin. Next we have my murder mystery section, starting off with the Bibliophile Mystery Series, Homicide in Hardcover, If Books Could Kill, The Lies That Bind, and Murder Undercover by Kate Carlisle. Then we have the Annie Kincaid Mystery Series, Faint of Art, and Brush with Death by Haley Lind. Then we have the Eve Bonnie series with Eve and Bonnie by Iris Johansen. Then we have Airframe by Michael Crichton, Tailspin by Catherine Coulter, The Apprentice by Tess Gerritsen, which is based on the TV show Rizzoli and Isles, The Tightrope Walker by Dorothy Gilman, Night Sins by Tammy Hogue, Grace Under Pressure by Julie Heasey, The Killing Game by Iris Johansen, and Bones Buried Deep by Max Allan Collins, based on the show Bones. Then we have the Bones / Temperance Brennan series, Deja Dead, Deadly Decisions, Fatal Voyage, Grave Secrets, Bones to Ashes, 206 Bones, and Flash and Bones by Kathy Reichs. Then we have The Ice Princess and the Preacher by Camilla Lackberg, Buried Secrets by Joseph Finder, Death du Jour by Kathy Reichs. This is also part of the Temperance Brennan series. Just because it's a hardcover, I put it off to the side from the other part of the series. And lastly, we have Heatwave and Naked Heat by Richard Castle, which is from the TV show Castle. So here we are, shelf 3, starting at the left. This is my historical fiction section. And I have The Chronicles of Downton Abbey, The Mists of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley, The Winter Palace by Ava Staniak, Dublin Foundation by Edward Rutherford, The Lost Crown by Miller. Then I have the Libba Bray series, A Great and Terrible Beauty, Rebel Angels, and The Sweet Far Thing. Then I have the Alexander and Tatiana series, or the Bronze Horseman series, The Bronze Horseman, Tatiana and Alexander, and The Summer Garden by Paulina Simons. Then I have Blood Red Snow White by Marcus Sedgwick, April Blood by Laurel Martinez, Versailles by Catherine Davies, The Queen's Fool by Philippa Gregory, I'm Mona Lisa by Jean Calogridas, The Musician's Daughter by Dunlap, Troy by Adele Gérard, Goddess of Yesterday by Caroline B. Cooney. Then these next two books are just kind of put in there because I can't find anywhere else to fit them in. Pure by Juliana Bagot, Midnight Never Come by Marie Brennan. And then I have the murder mystery / historical fiction section. The Book of Air and Shadows by Michael Gruber, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, Timeline by Michael Crichton, The Plague Tales by Anne Benson, The Last Templar by Raymond Khoury, The Templar Salvation by Raymond Khoury, The Romanov Prophecy by Steve Berry, and The Templar Legacy by Steve Berry. Alright, on to shelf 4. This is my first shelf of young adult fiction. Starting from the left, we have Sabriel by Garth Nix, Princess Ben by Murdoch, The Hero and the Crown by McKinley, Immortal by Gillian Shields, Wake by McMahon, The Hollow by Jessica Verde, Eve by Anne Carey, Undeadly by Michelle Vale, Halo by Adornetto, Incarceron by Catherine Fisher, Beautiful Creatures by Garcia and Stoll, The Immortals, The Beginning by Alison Noel. Then the first two books of the Hush Hush series, called Hush Hush and Crescendo by Becca Fitzpatrick. Then we have the Iron Fae series, The Iron King, The Iron Daughter, The Iron Queen, The Iron Knight, and The Iron Legend by Julie Kagawa. Then we have the Aeon series, Aeon and Aeona by Allison Goodman. Next is the Blue Bloods series, Blue Bloods, Masquerade, Revelations, and the Van Allen Legacy by Melissa de la Cruz. Then we have the Meridian series, Meridian, Wildcat Fireflies, and Speed of Light by Amber Kaiser. Then Poison Princess, The Arcana Chronicles by Cressley Cole. Wildefier by Knight. Warrior Princess by Jones. Fairest by Levine. The Bride's Farewell by Meg Rosoff. And Timeless by Monier. Alright, so shelf 5. Starting at the left, we have the Books of Pelennor series. The Naming, The Riddle, The Crow, and The Singing by Alison Croghan. Then we have the Fallen series, consisting of Fallen, Torment, Passion, and Rapture by Lauren Kate. Then we have the Seven Realms series, The Demon King, The Exiled Queen, The Grey Wolf Throne, and The Crimson Crown by Chima. Then the Divergent series, consisting of Divergent and Insurgent by Veronica Roth. Legend by Marie Lu. The White Horse Talisman and The Dance of the Stones by Andrea Spalding. The 10th Power by Kate Constable. The Golden Compass series, The Subtle Knife and the Amber Spyglass by Philip Pullman. Then on top we have The Other Place by Monica Hughes, Troubling a Star by Madeline Engel, and Ella Enchanted by Levine. And further down on top we have The Hunter's Moon by O.R. Melling and Wild Orchid by Doki. Moving back down to about here, we're going to have all the different Tamora Pierce series, the paperbacks. So we have the Circle of Magic series, consisting of Sandra's book, Triss's book, Daja's book, and Briar's book, all by Tamora Pierce. And The Circle Opens, Book 1 and 2, Magic Steps and Street Magic, also by Tamora Pierce. Then we have the Lioness Quartet series, consisting of Alana the First Adventure, In the Hand of the Goddess, The Woman Who Rides Like a Man, and Lioness Rampant, also by Tamora Pierce. Next to it we have the Immortal series, consisting of Wild Magic, Wolf Speaker, Emperor Mage, and The Realm of the Gods, also by Tamora Pierce. Lastly, we have the Protector of the Small series, First Test, and Page, also by Tamora Pierce. In case you couldn't tell, I'm a big Tamora Pierce fan. And finally, we have our last shelf. Woohoo! This is also a young adult fiction shelf. So, starting on the left, we have the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare, consisting of City of Bones, City of Ashes, and City of Glass. Then we have the Clockwork series, also by Cassandra Clare, consisting of Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. Then we have the Twilight series, consisting of Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. Moving on to the Time Travel series, we have Ruby Red and Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gear. Guardian of the Dead by Karen Healy. Paranormalcy by Kirsten White. Daughter of the Flames by Marriott. The Seer and the Sword by Hanley. And next we have our Tamora Pierce hardcover books. These are a continuation of the shelf above. I just set them on a separate shelf because they're all hardcovers and take up a lot more space. So, continuing with the Circle Open series, we have Cold Fire and Shadowglass by Tamora Pierce. Then we have the Protector of the Small continuation with Squire and Lady Knight, also by Tamora Pierce. Next we have the Trickster series, consisting of Trickster's Choice and Trickster's Queen, also by Tamora Pierce. And the last series for Tamora Pierce, we have the Becca Cooper series, consisting of Terrier, Bloodhound, and Mastiff by Tamora Pierce. And that is our book tour. Woo! Thanks for watching. This is Christine signing off.